must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.
Anybody who has been in the military will understand that when at war, in war, with war, you don't court-martial your soldiers or officers while the war is on. You finish the war first and then investigate the officers or soldiers who might have misbehaved or neglected duty. This is the doctrine of the institution of war. Today, Kenya is within the war and at war with an invisible enemy called COVID-19. And we must support the efforts of the frontline officials. Then we put them on trial later if there are mistakes. Remember, the country is at the weakest link now, and we cannot afford to deflect the efforts of those soldiers on the front line of fighting COVID-19. Thank you very much, viewers. That is me.
Since we reported our first COVID-19 case, our country, Kenya, has recorded some 830 confirmed infections that has led to 50 deaths. Indeed, fellow Kenyans, it is disturbing to note that close to 30% of these recorded deaths occurred at home. I take this opportunity on behalf of all Kenyans to send my heartfelt condolences to the families and friends of those that we have lost to this pandemic. The life of every single Kenyan is precious. And I, together with millions of Kenyans, mourn the lost dreams that have been cut short so suddenly by this disease. We all emphasize with the tears and misery of those that have been left behind, and we pray that God will take them into his embrace and continue to comfort their loved ones. On a more positive note, I am delighted to note that due to the dedication and commitment of our healthcare workers, we have discharged some 301 individuals from our health facilities, all having registered full recovery since the onset of this pandemic. And there are now 481 cases that are currently undergoing treatment. I want to thank, once again, the dedicated and skilled Kenyans who are working around the clock to keep our infections relatively low so far. And I also want to thank the tens of millions of Kenyans who are adhering to the health, hygiene, and social distancing measures that have been put in place by our health officials. Fellow Kenyans, if we had not taken tough steps, the Public Health Emergency Operations Center calculates that there would be many thousands of infections across the country, and indeed many more fatalities. It is, however, clear that we have still to deliver a fatal blow to this enemy that has afflicted our country and the world at large. In the last week, we have unfortunately witnessed an increased number of imported cases among individuals crossing into the country through our borders. And these new areas have become a matter of grave concern to us. Among the positive cases that have been registered in the country this last week, a total of 43 cases have recently crossed the border from neighboring Somalia and Tanzania. As of yesterday, the cases that have crossed the border were distributed as follows. Wajir had 14 cross-border cases. Izebania had 10 cross-border cases. Namanga had 16 cross-border cases. Lunga Lunga had 2, and Loitoktok 1. These 43 cases represent almost a quarter of the 166 confirmed infections during this last week. Further to this, 78 truck drivers who are foreign nationals tested positive for COVID-19. They were denied entry into our territory at different border crossings. If we had not undertaken that intervention, the imported cases through our borders would today have accounted for more than 50% of this week's infections. Within our borders, infections have now spread to 22 of our 47 counties. These numbers and the spread of infection clearly indicate that if no action is taken, all the gains already achieved in combating this pandemic will undoubtedly be lost. I want to be very plain today, and I want every single Kenyan to understand what is our immediate future. We have a brutal and unforgiving enemy in our midst. This enemy is trying to gain entry using every door, every window, every crack. He's asking every single Kenyan to sneak him in so that he can attack all of us. He multiplies his forces rapidly, with one infected person able to infect dozens of others if insufficient measures are not put in place. Of all of us, if we do not heed to the dangers and behave accordingly, a lot shall be lost, as we have seen in other parts of the world. Given enough opportunities, this enemy will lay waste to our families, to our children, our parents, our neighbors, and our friends. He will find the least aware amongst us and use them to carry his fateful disease to our most vulnerable. Today, globally, this disease has claimed over 300,000 innocent lives. And as of this morning, over 4.7 million infections have been recorded across the globe. In some instances, we have seen this disease grow from just a few hundred cases to hundreds of thousands of cases in the space of a month, causing tens of thousands of fatalities. If we do not take additional precautionary measures and get even more serious in implementing existing guidelines, the number of people who will get sick and die is going to rise very sharply. I know that Kenyans are concerned about the impact this disease is going to have on our economy, especially on those sectors that are linked to foreign trade, foreign travel, and production. And even though the measures we are putting in place are inconvenient to all of us, the far worse outcome, fellow Kenyans, is for this pandemic to grow out of control. The cities and countries where it has raged out of control have suffered near economic collapse due to the terror and the paralysis that this disease causes. Economies far greater than ours are facing their worst economic situation in many, many years. I know that there is growing pressure from amongst our people. There is growing global pressure for easing of measures against this disease and for all of us to get back to normal. Indeed, one of the tasks that I gave our National Emergency Response Committee on Coronavirus was to undertake a close look at reopening our economy even further. However, their examination of what has happened across the world has found countries like Singapore, Germany, Ghana, that initially had done very well when they eased their restrictions, they suffered very dangerous spikes in new rates of infection. I, like you, am just as anxious for us to get back to normal, to get back to building our country. However, I also strongly believe that we will only be able to do this the sooner we sharply suppress the growth of infections in our country. We are therefore going to step up our defense by deploying stricter, more localized prevention actions. We will also review some of the previous concessions and directives to ensure that they are better complied with. So therefore, fellow Kenyans, in accordance with the advice by the National Emergency Response Committee on Coronavirus and our National Security Council, I am today directing as follows: that there will be a cessation of movement of persons and any passenger ferrying automobiles and vehicles into and out of the territory of the Republic of Kenya through the Kenya-Tanzania international border, except for cargo vehicles, with effect from midnight tonight, Saturday the 16th, May 2020. There shall also be a cessation of movement of persons and any passenger ferrying automobiles and vehicles into and out of the territory of the Republic of Kenya through the Kenya-Somali international border.
Good afternoon, viewers. Welcome to Punchline Africa Television, broadcasting all the way from the Republic of Kenya in Nairobi. Miriam, thank you very much in the studio back in Nairobi. I'm miles away from the political command center of Punchline Africa Television. Good afternoon in Nairobi.
A very good afternoon to you, Doctor, and happy Sunday. How is your weekend coming up?
Fine, thank you very much. It's Sunday indeed. And a great weekend, how days can move, and how we are prepared, and how we in Africa have made our politics the habit of interfering with normal procedures of COVID-19 across Africa, except in Uganda. Most people in the countries that are on the verge of regime change have mixed politics with the fight of COVID-19. Today, this show is Africa Showdown. We shall look at countries that we have mentioned, and the picture can be brought back by our production team. Always production team bring that picture, because some people sleep and they don't read it. That's how the order we are going to go. We shall start with Kenya. And my colleague in the studio to test her codes can now tell us the rest of the countries that we are going to touch. If you have anything in your country that you feel we have not touched, please call us. Tell us. In Malawi, they are preparing for an election which can bring bloodbath. Politics. Tell us in Zimbabwe, their good numbers are down, but the opposition is playing politics that can surge this country into bloodbath. Tell us in Cameroon, Amazonia, the bloodbath continues to flow. Tell us, wherever you are in South Sudan, we see a shaky ground. We see shaky ground coming. Tell us the good news in Rwanda. The journey for Kabuga ends. But I'm going to do one good exclusive interview tonight. And don't miss it. Diplomatic leaks. I want to discuss. I've been telling you that one day, and one day, and one day alone, I'll rise up and stand up and be counted in Africa. I told you France knows where Kabuga is. So many years I've been telling people, and the people call me a madman. You can't tell me that France did not know where Kabuga was. A country that goes to the moon and comes back, fails to find Mr. Kabuga. Mr. Kagame, don't be deceived. If the Kofi Annan knew where Kabuga was. Now that Mr. Kabuga has been arrested, we want to know the people who used his money to reach where they are today, including Kofi Annan. Now you are going to see the real David. Don't miss tonight the diplomatic leaks. Kabuga was not missing anywhere. Kabuga was in Paris. Hallelujah. Some of us knew it. The only problem we didn't know is we left it. We left it because Kagame equally behaved badly against opponents. People ignored. Why has there been a tic-tac between Kigali and Paris? Why is there a plan to invade Rwanda? Why is there a proxy war between Burundi and Rwanda? I don't want to finish the flavor here. I don't want to finish the flavor. Bring in another country over to my colleague in the studio, Miriam Ogutu. Take it on. Today, I am in the right spirits.
All right.
And this spirit will tell the truth. In Kenya, I'm going to tell you, if you don't shape up, ship out.
All right.
Watu wanataka kupigana na COVID-19. You people in Kenya are telling us, our boss is hiding, is coming with a strategy. Strategy gani? Strategy gani kama anataka kwenda porini? Aseme, tutamtafuta. Kutisha watu. Enda porini, urudi, tutakupiga. Wengine tutatoa hizi uniform za civilian, tukuje. Pana kutisha watu. Don't threaten people, this, what? The president, Mr. President, uko na huge support on this. Shape up or ship out. Kapwepe, shift out. Kapwepe with Kaunda. Kamuzi Banda, you remember? In Malawi. Mabutu. And the Tsombe. The Moise and the Lumumba. Shipped out. Wewe mnatisha watu, natisha president every day. Unamtisha nini? You go to National Assembly as a party. You have been directed. You defend the government. Pelosi, Nancy Pelosi, cannot go and reach the Congress and start dancing the music of that huge guy. I don't know who created him. He's huge, surely. Huge guy, double my size, across the Atlantic. He can't. You either play the party politics or you ship out. You cannot be a leader of majority who was selected, not elected. You were selected as a leader of majority by the party leader. Whatever means you want to quote your law, go back to your school of law. If I were a Milkomen, I would go back to teach. I don't know the students who Milkomen teach, whether they have passed. I've not seen any of them in any school praising him. I don't know. He's like a teacher who used to give marks after students have smiled. Yes. Pack up and ship Kenya. That is the headline, bloodbath. Blood what? What bloodbath for what? Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta is the owner of Jubilee Party. Jubilee Party is in Africa. Jubilee Party is in Africa. Every party in Africa has got its owner. Even ANC iko na owners. Kama unaleta nyongo in ANC, wanakutoa. You cannot sit there and say you want to defend yourself. Write to the secretary, to the party president, apologize, and say I'm wrong. And say I'm wrong. Don't tell lies to people. I am having a strategy. I'm coming back. Strategy to come back and do what? Who has chased you? You have hidden in your hole from COVID-19. Hapana ambia watu uko na strategy unatafuta. Wanda. Strategy gani? Medium, what strategy is there? Because we are now analyzing the papers. What is the strategy? That is strategy. The only strategy you want to do is to create violence in Kenya. But now we are documenting everything that you say and that you do. quietly, whether you're proxies. Everything is being documented. The same international community is watching. This time you will not say I was not the one, or you will not say Swahili was different from my language. No. Watu wachunge hii kitu wanafanya sahi. Let people be honest. This is a party which has got rules. We thought it could be a very good party, and unfortunately our friends have used it seriously. One, to steal. In the first 5 years, one section of Jubilee was stealing, and one section of Jubilee was with nothing. The people who campaigned so hard from 2013, we got nothing. Some of us were friends. We sacrificed cars, time. We traveled, we got injuries. We were sidelined. And the group led by the man who is saying he has strategy, 8 and 8 and 8, until he vomited on the shoes. Now time, the second phase, things changed. Because those informers and the gatekeepers that were placed near the State House closed, those were closed. They were taken to embassies. Every time you ask, I remember one day I called the chief controller, who is the ambassador now in, to say, please, I am passed through Nairobi. I want to say hi to the president. He blocked me. He never wanted me to see the president. And the following day, when I called back, he said, no, the president says he will see you in 2016. And it is me who went around. I have never, when I tell Kenyans I've never met President Uhuru Kenyatta, they think I'm lying. I've never met Ruto in person, and I had sat down and I had tea. Someone might think I'm lying. Because for what? For what? They are busy on national duties. If you are working with a heart to defend Africa, be prepared to defend without food, even walk hungry. My vision is not the vision of rewards. The people who were rewarded became vultures. They went on pressing parastatal colonies. And these parastatals were paying billions and millions under the pretext that the government is aware of the payments you are making. People collected money, a war chest for fight for elections in 2022. I told you, my dear brothers, I want only people who can comment on my world from today. And I want to allow people, not this world, the world of David Matanga. Comment on the world when you have gone to school. If you have not gone to school like a Tumbi, don't comment on my world. Because you don't have the qualities. What are you telling me? What? You are telling me what? When I'm the one who taught you how to put a safety belt on a plane and how to catch a fall. Comment on my wall when you have brains that we can argue. If you have read the book, The Prince, is when you can comment on a subject of politics which I have written. Don't comment when you have not read it. Go back to school. Schools are now open. Universities are very many. The time some of us went to school is Makerere University only. But now there are thousands and thousands of universities across Africa. Don't come to comment on my world with stupidity. That's the word of Dr. Matanga. Don't. Usijaribu. because you might need to be educated. Just ask what you don't know. Remember, I told people, and I said, and I repeat, because my television is not going to be reduced to mediocre. No, we have to discuss things that are serious. And one of the things we want to discuss are real things. For example, the road. Don't think of Rome when Sicily is burning. I've been saying here, go and read the book, The Prince. You will find the answers there. There are very many there. So Miriam, the bloodbath that they are talking about, my dear sister, is not theirs. The bloodbath is not there. Uhuru is in charge. He's the party leader. Ham up your pie, shape up your cloth, shape up your body, shape up your stomach, and go back to the president and say, I'm sorry. Don't say that this man is advocating for breakup. No, I'm saying time is now to say, I'm sorry, Mr. President. You have your 2 years left. I want to do what you want me to do. If you want me to go to the moon, I will go. If there is a jet fight, a rocket launcher. If you want me to help you to run the government in Iceland in cooperation, you can come back. But the die, Miriam, is cast. The Rubicon has been crossed. The group that has been insulting the president from morning up to morning, a group that you took over somebody's workers who were chased from State House, and you brought them in their house in one of the bedrooms of state institution and told them, insult that man on a daily basis. The time is over, cut, in a cut one. The man is not going to do half perestroika. No way. Uhuru must go full perestroika. Your Excellency, you have introduced perestroika. If you stop halfway, Boris Yeltsin will be coming for you. Aha! This is a political program, isn't it, Miriam? We are supposed to talk politics. Any student of comparative politics can talk to me. I'm not going to talk like M7 this afternoon. But anyway, let's solve this problem this way. The biggest problem of Jubilee is lack of unity, coherent progress. It's lack of saying the good things that the president has done. One of the good things that the Jubilee government has done, Huduma centers, these are going on. You can get your passport without bribing people. Those who bribe are also thieves. You can wait at home, they will call you, it is ready. Because now during COVID, there is nowhere you are traveling. Apply now. I'm now giving free advice. Consultants, if you needed, chap. I will be giving my number, chap, so that you contribute. Yes, time is coming when I'm going to, for every advice I give, you contribute on M-Pesa. Thank you very much. You chap, this Huduma number. President Uhuru Kenyatta brought the big four. Miriam, it pains me so much that the people who are supposed to support President Uhuru Kenyatta in putting laws for the operational big four let him down. The big four agenda went in ashes. Okay, some has been achieved, little has been achieved, but nobody helped the president. The leader of majority on the Senate was the first person even to oppose the program. The president brought BBI. I'm now narrating the things which the leader of majority in the Senate failed the president. The president brought life audit for it to be audited, for everybody to be audited. Miriam, we failed again. Who was that? The leader of majority was the first person on national television called, you know what it is called? The television was called Citizen. He said there is no law to back lifestyle audit. He didn't do a lifestyle audit. If you ask Murkomen today whether he did a lifestyle audit, Miriam, the answer is negative. Is positive. He didn't. He did not do it. Is it negative or positive? Whatever you can, you can detect. He is in the negative. He will say he didn't. He a leader of majority. The government, you are supposed to support the government, not to be Mr. Badi or Mr. Orengo. Then, what is the use of Orengo's work? To oppose the government in the Senate. But what Murkomen went there to do was to damage Uhuru Kenyatta on a daily basis. That killed his career. The other lady shouting from Nakuru, I believe she shouts very well. I'm told she is a very good shouter. But she shouts, let her shout with common sense. Don't insult the president like that. In fact, she is a daughter of a very respectable man. The man that I ate food in his house. Yes, so I would not like to insult my daughter. I will only look for her and give her advice. Because those days when we used to pass Nakuru, the father is a very good guy. Very good guy. And I remember very well when we were struggling on Kenya, rebels of Kenya. I can see Kogi Wamwere also writing nonsense. This is stupid. I told him in London, when we met Kogi Wamwere in London in Wandsworth, I hope Kogi Wamwere, you are listening. You remember what I told you in that shop in Wandsworth when we met behind there? My Muindi friend, when I called you, we wanted to help you, to give you some money so that you can go and prosper with your Kenya movement. Kogi Wamwere, watch out your stupid things you are writing in the papers. You know very well, but now you are turning around. Instead of you advising this younger man, you are turning around. Oh, Kenyatta. Your problem in every government has been a problem with the government. Is there a time that Kogi Wamwere will have no government, will have a government? Kibaki, he turned on Kibaki. Mr. Moi, that one we know, we met him in London, we helped him to be able to have some little money. He didn't have money. We gave him my Bahindi friends to help him. Now, Kibaki, he turned on Kibaki. Nusumukati, he turned on Nusumukati. He ya Ruto, ya Uhuru na Ruto, he stand on them, he's here, he's there. Amen. At least he has taken part in one or two governments. Some of us have never taken part in Museveni government. So we have a right to criticize him. But if you have worked with Museveni, then you, like a kid's messenger, then you run away. When you are almost like his houseboy, then you run away. You used to wash his clothes when he was away. Don't you think you have no pride to tell Ugandans that I'm struggling. We Ugandans have very high standards of measuring the brightness.
All right, Doctor, and in line with today's topic on Kenya, shape up or ship out. Of course, you looked at the Sunday Standard headline here: anatomy for blood birth, and update says Jubilee implosion and no end in sight as Purge on DP allies targets Duale, Kindiki, and Washiali, with Mudavadi joining parties lining up to work with Uhuru. Kenyans brace for more earth-shaking changes. So literally shape up or ship out. But Doctor, you were talking about a leader of majority in the House, in Parliament, Duale, and of course he has always taken a neutral, position. Is this what might cost him, his position? He's not been very affirmative when it comes to certain things. Perhaps the government might have required him to be more vocal, but instead taking a more neutral ground in the House. Could that be his downfall?
Mulukomen.
Duale.
You are bringing a very tricky question, and I knew it was coming. First of all, Duale is my friend, and I stand to be counted for saying I have not had Duale ever insult Uhuru Kenyatta. Let's get the checklist. Duale's bills in the parliament have passed. You remember even the people hated Duale for passing the draconian rule of sniffing through the telephones and the security bill. Duale mobilized his troops and passed the bill. Duale has tried his level best. And I speak with open mind. Those in Jubilee who are out for his blood, don't blood me. Don't bring blood on me. Me, I'm independent. I'm sorry. Duale has been delivering his bills. He goes and tables them. At times the opposition wanted to kill him, even some members within the party, because they did not like the way Duale was supporting the government. Duale supported the government, his bills were seen. Washali, I don't want to see him there. That one should go quickly to Mumias and join the group of Echesa, and then they can collect their guns if they want. Because we know what they are doing. Me, I talk the truth, man. We know what they are doing. We know. You remember these guns can. It is only stupid people here who have never been in such rebel activities that can fail to know what is going on. The signs that are here, and Miriam, I want to say it on this television, the signs that are in here by the group that supports the Tanga Tanga group are the same signs that I saw in 1981 before Museveni left for the bush. And let people know that some of us see the signs. We don't use the tongue. You can talk in your tongues, but we have seen what you want to do. So don't tell lies. It is up to the security agencies of Kenya to check. Bukuwe na macho uko mrefu. Iko shida. I saw those signs, walaya Mungu. I saw them. I was here. I was there. I saw it. And we told Dr. Milton Obote, let's get this guy here. He said, he's my son, I'm going to talk to him. How can you talk to a mature man, your son? His son was determined, he had already stolen the guns. And that is where today, 34 years. 1981 to today is how much?
Going
48.
to 38
years.
38 years. And 34 in
38
power.
years.
Yes.
Yes, 38 years. Tuko na shida. Tuko hapa. Tunazungumiza hata we came with very nice afro hair. Now we are returning with gray hair.
And Doctor, Mudavadi,
Yeah.
yes, Mudavadi also joined President Uhuru Kenyatta, and what they say, NSC joins Uhuru's new super alliance with planned Tuesday PG meeting. Can Mudavadi be trusted? And what do you make of his joining President Uhuru Kenyatta? Not trusted, but dependent on in terms of longevity being together.
He has joined.
Yes. He said his ANC party will be working with President Uhuru Kenyatta. I don't know what you make of that move.
Yes, this is the time to work for the country. It's time to work for the country.
Can he
it's
be
not the
trusted?
time to Yeah, it's not the time to pluck out to eat. It's the time to work for the country. Any able-minded person like a Mudavadi can come on board and make this economy workable. Then you can declare your interest in 2022. People watakupatia kura.
Because Doctor, you brought up a very important point there.
Wait first.
Yes.
What President Uhuru Kenyatta wants, and some of us, the friends of Uhuru Kenyatta, I'm a friend. I did not buy friendship. Neither did I tell him to buy me to be a friend. I just like his policies. And he doesn't pay me for liking him. I love his style. I wish Ruto was like that. Uhuru's style is the style of a man with a good heart. Ako no roho mzuri kabisa. If it had been other people, the type of things that they do, the people say it would be bad. Let me tell you, Uhuru Kenyatta, East or West, needs a legacy. How he leaves the legacy of a united. At the moment now, we have less than 2 years. We are not interested in anything else. We are interested, friends of Kenya are interested in united Kenya. That's it. Once you unite Kenya, the goods will flow in Uganda. Once you disintegrate Kenya, Uganda will die. Sudan will die. Congo will die. Rwanda will die. So my policy is a united Kenya. I am not a Kenyan. I'm not a voter. Neither would I want to buy an ID to become a Kenyan.
And Doctor,
I am a neighbor,
yes.
an African. If Mudavadi has chosen to be on board,
yes.
so be it.
Yes.
He's a very good person. He's a very good economist. He was a minister of finance. If he can come in to steady the ship,
then it is
to
well
see
and
what we want to do after post-COVID, to avoid a saturated state,
yes.
a state that is sinking. As we are going to see now, several African states, Miriam, that we have lined up here.
Yes, but before you get there, Doctor, before I just lose my question on Mudavadi here, because we know Mudavadi has expressed his ambition of becoming president in this country. Raila Odinga also, I don't know, he's not come out very clearly, but there are signs he might want to run for 2022, and also the DP and all these people. And President Uhuru Kenyatta has brought all these people to work with him, and I think it's very important for the unity of this country. But at the long run, because all these people are very ambitious, would bringing all these bigwigs together, will it backfire at some point when they start knocking heads, because they all are very ambitious? Will it backfire on the president?
On what?
When they realize they might not get that support, because they're coming here. Yeah.
It is better to leave them together.
Yes.
And face the country together than to leave them scattered. That's the strategy.
That's the strategy. So
the president has told you he needs a united Kenya. And he hands over power to a person who is from that united Kenya. Not a Kenya that is using its tribe to harass others. Not a Kenya that is going to depend on numbers of my people. Not a corrupt Kenya, not a power-hungry Kenya, but a Kenya that works for the nationals. I think in President Uhuru Kenyatta's mind, wherever he's in the State House now, he's looking at the future Kenya. That when I leave to go back to my house, although it is very near the State House, I will be safe. Safety. What makes African presidents abrogate constitutions is lack of safety, tenure of safety when you have left. You think President Museveni doesn't want to leave? What doesn't he have? In 1981, he had 500 cows. Now he has, he had five cows. Now he has 100,000 cows. Does he want to stay there? Does he want to stay there? He wants to go home. He wants to go home and look at the country that he built from a gorilla welfare to a stable African country with high-rise buildings. Even if the buildings are being built by few individuals, still there are buildings in Uganda. Tell me how many buildings that they destroyed when they removed Obote. How many? They are still there. They took them over and they rebuilt them. Idi Amin, still there. We took over, rebuilt them. But the people in power want what we call safety. If I live in 2022, and you have already started planning for me when you are in my cabinet, and yes. You want me to be given, to give you my seat.
Yes. But in Kenya here, judging from our past presidents, we know how to just respect them and leave them alone. The late now President Moi and President Mwai Kibaki, they all enjoyed their retirement, and President Mwai Kibaki now is enjoying his retirement.
My dear.
This could be different.
My dear.
Should President Uhuru Kenyatta, yes, my dear, after he is retired.
My dear Miriam.
Yes.
If people have started insulting President Uhuru Kenyatta when he's still in power, tell me how they will insult him when he's no longer in power. If President Uhuru Kenyatta's MP, Moses Kuria, has teamed up with the deputy to molest his own constituents on a daily basis, what about if this man goes to Gatundu South to stay at his home? He will even throw the grenade in his house. Don't tell me I'm telling a lie. Am I wrong?
Yeah, for right now, they're not in very good
Have you seen the words that Moses Kuria? Have you seen the words that Moses Kuria uses on Uhuru Kenyatta? Are those good words? Miriam, are those good words?
Not quite. The nature of our politics.
Surely, are those the words you can use for your president and then leave alone the president? Are those the words that you can use on your constituent? President Uhuru Kenyatta voted in Gatundu South, and the MP of Gatundu South hates him.
He actually voted for Moses Kuria, I would believe.
Yes, he went and voted for Moses Kuria. Okay. Give me a foreigner who lost money, who gave Moses Kuria and bailed him, paid him on my M-Pesa about 170,000 shillings M-Pesa money. He has never paid me. And yet he has gone to build the apartments. Don't you think I've been paying you so much? But what about he hates the president? What about if the president retires and he's at home? He will even kill his children. These people have no heart. Have you seen what they write? Have you seen what they are writing? What the deputy president is writing on Twitter? Himself.
He's not quoting the Bible
is he the one
anymore.
I don't know whether he's the one who writes this.
I've not
but
seen
have you seen what he writes? Are those the words of a leader you want to stay here? Have you seen how they tell me that when they get it like this, I should run very fast? Mr. President, don't worry. Mr. Incoming President, don't worry. I have a home, but you might also not come where my home is. Okay,
Doctor.
Mr. President?
Yes.
President, no, honestly, Miriam also sympathizes with me. You have seen what they write about him. They say when we get it, because I've supported Uhuru Kenyatta, that when they get it like this, even Raila has never told me that. Never. Never. Raila has never told me that when we get power, we shall deal with you. But these ones on social media, they are used with a syndrome of planting people out. You know, when you have anthropological problems of planting people out, ship them out. Ship them. Where are they? Unaona, wako na hiyo katu kako hapo kwa brain. Matanga must be fixed. He must leave.
All right.
He must go. But this is Africa. Tomorrow again we shall meet. If COVID-19 does not finish all of us, we shall go back. Chicho kwa plane. Na mimi that place where I'm going, you might not also step there. Mchunge namna hivyo, nyenye saa hii mnasema hii maneno. Lakini mchunge, you will need to travel some places. You will need it. So don't antagonize everybody and tell them, I did not choose to have a state, or no state, or stateless. I did not choose. Sympathize with me, I did not choose. I did not know. So just that one morning, on a Saturday, 27th July, 1985, our own people called us by radio calls and told us, leave the capital city, Kampala. And that is where I am. And it summarizes, I don't want to cry tears. But you people continue to do that. One day, it will also be on your side. One day, it won't take long. So when you see people here like this, we have gone through, we've lost fathers, we've lost wives, we've lost so many relatives because of the type of confusion that we are telling you today. That stop the confusion, work with the president. Work with the president. I'm not telling you because I want a part of a plot in this country. I'm telling you because it pains me. A few years ago, 10 years ago backwards, 11 years, Miriam, let's go back. You will see nobody wanted to see these two men. They wanted them jailed. All the people now today writing statements and going on the television, none of them came to stand for them. This Ugandan came to stand for them. And I feel so sad today that even my tears come out of this nature because none of them wanted these two men to be here. I did not know that these two men would one day be president and deputy. But I stood my head out. I lost every friend in the international community, including my own job as a senior sec consultant of Sky News, which I was sacked summarily. But I've never hated that Muzungu. He liked me. So I am giving you advice that let's not go back to where we were. Let's embrace the journey. This is the experience I'm giving you is to show you how painful it is to lose a country, and how painful it is for you to be able to give President Uhuru the way forward, unite with him to build this country. I'm very happy that Mudavadi is on board. Other people will come on board. If that is B. And today, let me tell Kenya, let me tell you, you know you don't know the pain. The pain is too great. At times, I hold back my tears. But the biggest asset of a nation is unity. Uganda today, President Museveni, where he is today, is surviving because of unity of purpose. The war was over. We put our differences together. We shook hands for the sake of unity of purpose. For the first time, I'd never, since 1981, I'd refused never to see this guy. But we shook hands. Today, here we are. Our country has gone on. Our country is high. There is no war. There is corruption. Yes. The corruption in Uganda is centralized. The corruption in Kenya is spread. Show me one county in Kenya which does not have a tiled house. And if you ask the owner of the house, how did you build it? Oh, I did a deal. I supplied this and I supplied this. They can't tell you that I grew up pineapples and I put a factory that produced juice. And I sold this juice, exported it to Rwanda or Uganda. No. They tell you I did a deal this, I got my papers, I took them to the ministry, the accountant signed, I get money and I build the house. Your type of corruption, the type of corruption in Kenya is spread to everywhere. Our type of corruption in our country is centralized. I have now recovered Miriam.
Yes.
That was the first time, the picture you see there, the first time since 1981, is when we shook hands and they said we have ceased the fire. Let there be peace. Where was Bessie? He was washing plates somewhere under shoes, polishing his boss's shoes. So when the boss said, you are not polishing anymore, he said, I'm now a leader of opposition. Opposition wapi wewe? Wacha! Toka! Iko wenyewe. Thank you very much. Viewers, Miriam, we have spent a good hour on Kenya.
Yes.
Shape up or ship out. We have been giving advice the whole week. Oh, Kihika. My daughter Kihika, the father was so nice, a very good man. He could argue, but very good. I don't know where this girl got a very tough heart.
Well, I guess Kihika, Susan, became her own person, and sometimes it happens. So, Doctor, as you said there, I think we have covered the Kenya, part, shape up or ship up. So now, perhaps for the interest of time, we move to Rwanda, where end of genocide memory, Kabuga arrested.
A minute, just a minute, Miriam.
Yes.
We have 1 hour now.
About 45 minutes. Yes. Because with
we are going to do very well. We are not doing it that badly. I wanted to bring this Kenyan thing out. I'm sorry, viewers. We wanted to bring this Kenyan thing out because it is dividing us. Dividing the nation. Kenyans are worried. Some Kenyans are sleeping outside. They want the president to deliver. Some are not eating food. So, but someone is planning for 2022. Surely, is that the way to go? Is that the way to go? I don't think so. So bring it, Rwanda.
All right, thank you so much there, well said. So French police on Saturday arrested one of the last key suspects in the 1994 Rwandan genocide, describing him as its financier and one of the world's most wanted fugitives. Felician Kabuga, once one of Rwanda's richest men, was living under false identity in the Paris suburbs, and the public prosecutor's office and police said in a joint statement. Now, the operation carried out at dawn resulted in the arrest of the fugitive, who has been sought by the judicial authorities for 25 years. The statement said around 800 people, mostly Tutsis, but also moderate Hutus, were slaughtered over 100 days by ethnic Hutu extremists during the 1994 genocide. Now, the statement said Kabuga, aged 84, had been living in Asneris, so Seine, north of Paris, and had been hiding with the complicity of his children. So now, Doctor, end of genocide memory here, and Kabuga, who has been on the run for over 25 years, was arrested on Saturday in France. France authority, you mean to tell me they did not know this person was there all these years?
Miriam, just as that question you asking, I gave the answer a long time ago. When even Wetangula was a Minister of Foreign Affairs, people were alleging, when Saitoti was here, people were alleging so many things. Theories were passed around. I told the people, and I've been telling you, Kenyans and Africans, now we have left Kenya alone. I've been telling you, one of the countries in the whole world that has caused Africa agony is France. Before we go to France, I have some breaking news that have just arrived here. Very sad news. Mm-hmm. And it is again France. Very sad. Very, very sad news. The governor of Puntland, the governor of Madang region in Puntland, Ahmed Muse, and 4 of his bodyguards were assassinated, killed, after a man wearing suicide vest blade blew himself in front of the regional headquarters in Garikacho on Sunday this morning. Al-Shabaab claimed responsibility for the attack. May his soul rest in peace.
That is a whole topic that requires us to really talk about. Maybe tomorrow.
Breaking news that has just come in from my MPs who are in Mr. Farimajo's parliament. You know, I told you that, Miriam, just wait. Hold the fire. You will see. The man, right, live one from Mogadishu. Here. The man has been killed with his bodyguards. All of them are gone. Jesus Christ.
And
may his soul rest in peace.
And Al-Shabaab has been very quick to claim responsibility.
Yeah, they have claimed responsibility for
why that fast? So that we don't suspect who did it. All right.
You know what they are trying to do.
Okay. So
last week, you know what, my dear sister. On Saturday, I wrote to you. I wrote very well. And I said, Africa Milele is an organization. And I want people to listen to me. It will be a full picture. We need a full show on this. Mm-hmm.
That's what I said. This is a show for tomorrow.
Yes.
A whole 2 hours.
Not for tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Let's leave it. But I wanted to touch Kasimoro thing. Hassan Omar Mr. Hassan Omar, Senator Hassan Omar, cried louder for Sheikh Abd Rogo's death. And a huge organization supported Hassan Omar. Go back and do your research. Tomorrow, Miriam, you and me, we square it out. And all of a sudden, Mr. Hassan Omar has now come out to attack President Uhuru Kenyatta. After the nurse called Romana, what is the other name? The Italian nurse, Romana.
Ramona.
Who arrived,
Ramona,
who arrived in Italy after an exchange of heavy money, $1.6 million. Now, I want you to think harder. Who singled out this nurse in Kilifi in Mombasa? Hey. Ooh. In your motto, Mudiam is a full topic.
Yes.
You know, our friends make money so easily. For us, we are still here talking until God calls us with COVID-19. May God not do that. Please give me more time. Give me and Miriam some more time.
And
God,
he will. So Doctor,
he will.
Yes. So we come back to Rwanda, and I think that is a subject, the breaking news. That
Rwanda also
yes.
is jumping.
Yes.
Do you know why? We have a full diplomatic leak on Mr. Kabuga this evening.
All right.
At 8 p.m.
Okay.
Or for it to work a motto, let's work it tomorrow at 11.
Let's talk about it tomorrow on diplomatic leaks at 11.
Yes,
I think that will make a lot of sense. Yes.
Full day time debate.
Yes.
Watch it to chase.
So that our viewers also can have time to.
When itacheza kama tuko tayari kuambia watu ya wazi. But let me tell you, thank you very much for Rwandese. I wanted to correct that you said 800 is 800,000.
800,000, yes.
Yes, who were killed.
All right.
May their souls rest in peace. But you better remember who triggered the killing. How was it killed? The shooting down of the plane of Abiyarimana triggered the killing. But the rest, we leave it balanced like that.
Okay.
Let's leave it. Because we don't want to open a war. Tomorrow at 11.
We shall have that.
Students of political science in the Great Lakes region, I tell you to pick up your phones and your notebooks. You take notes from tomorrow at 11, diplomatic leaks. What happened in Rwanda? Who triggered the genocide? Is it Kabuga? And if it is Kabuga, he has come to an end today. Are there more people? Can we look at the other side? Or has France sold Kabuga to gain an upper hand? Am I bringing good questions there? You think France, which the French go to the moon, they didn't know that Mr. Kabuga is in their country.
Yeah.
It took them 25 years? Hello? Anybody who has studied international systems, how they work, talk to me. Don't talk to me when you have not done anything near there, because you might not manage it. That's the caveat I'm putting on my Facebook from tonight.
Okay.
If you have not gone to school, don't try to answer me. Leave my post there. Read it and either tick bad or yes or no. Like it. But don't try to answer when you have not gone near Machiavelli. If you don't know what Machiavelli means, you say, what is Machiavelli? Don't Google. I want people to use their heads. Thank you, Miriam.
All
Next.
right. So we go to South Sudan, and rattling begins in camps, as we have been reporting over the last 2 weeks, Doctor. A lot of deaths are happening, and we've seen some forces allied to either President, Salva Kiir, or his deputy Riek Machar. Also, Cirillo. We've seen there some fightings happening in South Sudan, and now the latest is President Salva Kiir said that the country's current leaders have not lived up to the expectation of its founding fathers. Yesterday, May 16th, marked the 37th anniversary of South Sudan's Liberation Army and its political wing, the Sudan People's Liberation Movement. South Sudan succeeded from Sudan, of course, in 2011 after 21 years of bloody civil war. But just 2 years after independence, we saw what happened there. And in a speech to mark yesterday, historic day, President Kiir recalled the country's fallen heroes and heroines, such as founding father Dr. John Garang, Dima Bior, and others for their contributions to the revolution. So President Salva Kiir here admitting that the country's leadership have not lived up to the expectation of its founding fathers. I don't know. He keeps having these light bulb moments, but he does not do anything moving further than that. And now we see the rattling happening in the different camps there in South Sudan, Doctor. Can we still hold on to the little hope that is there in South Sudan, or do we have a reason to get worried again over the future of South Sudan?
South Sudan needs help. The earlier the international community gives the government of South Sudan money and help logistically, the better. Otherwise, we shall fall into a very dangerous trap. South Sudan needs all the help that they need right now. I am not going to be a prophet of doom to start injuring them when the peace is holding. But they must also show to the world that they are not asking for this money for the sake of misusing it. They must use this money effectively to deliver the entire South Sudan in a peaceful manner. Viewers, that is my stand. South Sudan needs money, it needs support. The war in South Sudan was triggered by this type of politics that is in Kenya today. And if Kenya is not careful, it could easily slip into the South Sudan scenario, where you have the deputy president or the vice president arguing for power when the power of the incumbent is not yet over. It is the same thing. People are not seeing what is going on. We have several examples. We have a country like called Malawi, which is holding elections, Miriam. Which type of elections when people cannot distance, are told to be socially distanced? Who is going to count the votes? How did they count them? Through Zoom? It's not
Burundi is having its elections in less than, I think, less than 10 days, in maybe 4 or 5 days. Burundi there.
Look at that. For Burundi, I can accept. Because the man there is he has not gone to school. He was only able to pick a gun and go.
But Burundians, I would think, deserve better.
Yes. So they deserve a better person. I have no problem.
Yes.
He's working on the French instructions. So France cannot condemn him. Okay, but for Malawi, to say they are holding elections, which one can you hold now? So for South Sudan, we come back here. Let's give them support. Let's help. I want to ask the regional leaders, please, those watching me and their PAs and their communication directors, you know, Miriam, you didn't know that most of the people here are communication directors of the president. Our TV is well watched because I found someone who called me 2 days ago, said, you tell us to correct so many things. And I'm happy. So don't lose that thing there. I am there.
Well, we need that check for consultation there.
Oh,
But on a lighter
you know,
note, but on a serious note, doctor, on a serious, I was joking.
The check from here
Yes.
in Africa, the African leaders never give a check. Ask
We need-
PLO.
So
He
now,
goes under talks so well,
yes, yes.
and the people don't pay him.
But just clap for him and that's it. So,
Yes.
so President Salva Kiir admitting that the country's current leaders, I don't know if he thinks himself as part of the problem, because he's the head of the leadership of South Sudan. So he's saying the country's current leaders have not lived up to the expectations of its founding fathers. So in essence, he's saying, me as the president of South Sudan, I have failed in terms of, the expectations our founding fathers had for this country. Is there a way that now they perhaps can sit down and perhaps, because now they're at crossroads, and perhaps retrace their steps back to what the founding fathers had, the vision, the ambition, the dreams of the founding fathers had, including Dr. John Garang there, and see if they can go back there, back to the drawing board, and see if they can charter a new way for a new South Sudan, genuinely.
He's
admitting he's lost. From
Yes.
his admission, yes.
Yes. If Garanga had been alive, South Sudan would not have got independence. It would have remained in Sudan. I'm now telling you this. And I believe it is one of the reasons why somebody just did away. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I don't want. He was going to remain with Khartoum. His signs, his writings, he's my friend, my great friend, my great friend. He went, and people here play with words. Go home, go home. You don't know people. You leave me where I am, please. Even if I'm not eating your food, I'm eating my small food.
Yes.
Please, if you don't want me to eat it here, I'll go away. I'll eat it somewhere else. But don't try to attack a sleeping dog. Leave it lie. Garang expressed his intentions of leaving Sudan into a big nation. It would be very great today. You imagine northern Khartoum developing the railway. That's what was going to happen. By now, there will be a railway from Juba to Khartoum, to Port Said, Port Sudan. That was his intention. In all his speeches, go back to his books. Go back to his speeches. Bring that, Miriam. Ask him, you are there with Mr. DJ, Stephen DJ, our general manager.
He's listening.
Please ask him.
I don't know when he became a DJ, but he's listening.
No, Mr. Stephen, it's a joking song.
He can go to the archives, yes, at Getters.
Go to the archives, yes, and bring the document I wrote, which could stabilize South Sudan. If you don't read that Matanga document. Oh, Mama Katonda Wang. If you don't take that document seriously, South Sudan, you can see Salva Kiir has now knocked one of the points I put in the document. Leadership is not serious.
But he is the head of the leadership. He is the president of the Republic of South Sudan.
Get the document and send it to Mr. Marwal. Yes. Emmanuel Marwal is online, our correspondent in Juba.
He's here.
Send him that document. If you want to read that document, Miriam knows how to speak very good English. Say it.
Yes, and Emmanuel is here. Emmanuel, thank you so much for joining us. And he's really worried about the skyrocketing numbers now there in South Sudan. As you speak, 54 new cases have been announced, and South Sudan right now cases stands at 290, with 4 deaths having been reported and 4 recoveries there. South Sudan is working hard to catch up with the rest of us. The numbers there, Emmanuel Malual, is worried about the numbers of COVID-19.
Let me tell you, Miriam, the members in Kenya should not worry you.
No, Malwalu's worry, yes.
That's the document. And go to Pan-African Forum, www.panafricanforumltd.com. Read that document. It is there. I've played my role. This is 6 years down the road when I wrote that document. Actually, 7 years. I warned the people of South Sudan that if you don't follow that document, peace will never come permanently. You see, this one is a shaker. I've seen another picture somewhere where militia has killed so many.
Yes.
A picture which I cannot show here. It has been sent to me by a South Sudanese cabinet minister who is telling me to show this thing to the world. I'm going to send the picture to the general, the Kenyan general back there to check on this. Jamen, I told you, niliwaambia mimi, if they don't read that document, look at it, how to break the cycle of violence in South Sudan. Riek, Salva Kiir, what the founding father of that nation, John Garang, and I quoted him. He said, to achieve peace in Sudan and the South Sudan, we need to return to the basics. The people who did the peace agreement returned to the gymnastics, not the basics. How do you do a peace process without accountability? What is paining South Sudan now is a lack of accountability. Because people are returning home, their parents are not there. Their sisters are not there. Their mothers are killed. Their brothers are killed. Nobody has accounted for them. People have accounted for political power. They have got 5 vice presidents. In fact, if another war breaks out, they will add 7 more.
Okay.
The other one who is fighting them in Central Equatorial
They'll
region
bring him on board.
Wants to be added on as the 6th vice president.
Is that Cirillo? Because his army has been, Thomas, his army has been mentioned widely with the war that is happening. His militia, not his army, his militia.
If you look at that, if you don't read the document, and then you go on posturing that we are all right, we are not. Thank you. Let's seal it. We are not. But that document is available on www.panafricanforumltd.com. It's a website where over 10 million people, students, have gone through, have read. It's my organization. I write. My everything of the brain of Matanga can be found there.
Okay, and the
you will find it there.
Yes.
And you will not fail the exam if you quote one of those things there. Thank you.
Okay, and Manuel thinks, Doctor, he says, Dr. Matanga, we have such people like Kabuga in South Sudan. And we move to Tanzania, and Tanzania now has his back.
Is he not right?
He's very right.
Is he not right?
Yes. And I feel like, Doctor, we've not had a conversation about South Sudan soon. So perhaps in the coming week, after talking about Rwanda, and then we look at the Somalia, because we also have to look at Somalia, and also we will look at South Sudan. So we have our lineup for the week on diplomatic leaks. Yes.
We have.
Yes.
We have. There are so many things to be talked. South Sudan is a regional security threat. If you allow it to go to, we can put it under regional security. I have no problem. My material is here. Let an expert come and sit in a position where you are and put that together and you be the moderator. I will floor them on facts. Facts. This guy here, I have them. Hallelujah. You can't floor me. You can't. If you don't read that document there, you are finished. Let's move to Tanzania.
Let's move to Tanzania. And Tanzania has come out with restrictions against the cross-border movement, saying that no trucks from Kenya will be allowed in the country. This comes after Kenya closed its borders with Somalia and Tanzania on Saturday because of increased cross-border infections of the coronavirus. President Uhuru Kenyatta declared that on Saturday. Now, Tanzania, which has chosen not to enforce strict lockdown measures, could be facing a very serious but yet unidentified outbreak. Now, in a televised address to the nation on Saturday, President Uhuru Kenyatta said he was imposing more measures after it emerged that some of the cases had crossed the border from Tanzania and Somalia. The decree, effective yesterday midnight, does not affect cargo vehicles. Now, the move, unprecedented in the history of the East African community's 20-year existence, came as Kenya said it had blocked 78 truck drivers from Tanzania from entering the country. So, President Uhuru Kenyatta was making this speech yesterday, and I took my time and I watched the president because it was a live event here in the country. Said, for the safety of our country and how Tanzania has been, dealing with the COVID-19 on the other side. And I think I've been the people who have been saying, President Uhuru Kenyatta, can you just close this border? Zambia did already the other day. I don't know if President Magufuli also reacted in the same manner, or he has just something, personal with Kenya. I don't understand, because why would he do that? But President Magufuli went ahead and he said, you know what? President Kenyatta said that the trucks could still come, and after the drivers have been tested for COVID-19, and that they could still come in with the goods and all that. But President Magufuli went ahead and said, you know what? Now even the trucks from Kenya are not welcome at all. I don't understand. Is this kind of cold? I don't want to call it a cold war, but at some level of passive aggressiveness from the president of Tanzania.
Can I suggest one thing?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Viewers, let's not waste much time. I just want to tell you, we want to do business. And let the businessmen who have trucks listen to what some of us have done who have trucks. I'm also in a truck business. You know what I've done? Option number one, I packed it, washed it, and I packed it and I covered canvas in the warehouse for some time until COVID restrictions are eased. Laid off those 6 people, paid them. I told them, go and look after your family. Mm-hmm. That's it. That's option number one. But those who want money so much beyond God's liking, this is the method I'm giving you. If by Yusuf, Uganda, and by Yusuf, Kenya, let by Yusuf, Uganda, hire Ugandan drivers and take trailers, 6 or 10 or 20 trailers in Uganda. Let's not only condemn now. I'm giving Mutai Kagwe, wake up, get a pen. Tunawambia, mjue. No, to Mutai. Macharia. You don't even give the president this idea. Get 40 trucks the other side, 40 trucks this side. The ones drive from Mombasa to Maraba, end there. Let's try to get cranes and get a new driver, a Ugandan who has been tested with his certificate, to roll the truck. Your own drivers, test them, test all of them. Weka kwa maji, chukua kwa laboratory. Watume Uganda, they stay in Kampala, they can stay in Malaba, Uganda side. They only cross to pick the truck when it has been fumigated. And there's everything, even in under the tank, fumigate everywhere. He enters a Ugandan driver working for Bayusuf, cost haulers, any company drives this truck to Kampala. That's Matanga Fiore. And that same Ugandan driver drives back and empty, gets the truck from Kampala, which was empty, returning to Mombasa, hands over to this truck man here. It is not the question. Look here. Look here. If it is the truck drivers who are causing us the disease, let's have them, let's isolate the problem, but not the goods. You get my point? Mm-hmm. The goods, once the goods have been put and in a trailer, they can only be sealed, opened by the custom people. But the driver can go on sleeping everywhere, which is the problem. So let's get the driver tested from Mombasa before he reaches Malaba. Let him not cross with the goods. From here to Namanga, let him not cross with the goods. Let the Tanzanian driver pay by the same company this way, who can stay in Tanzania permanently waiting for the truck every morning. In the name of God, there will be no disease.
Mm-hmm. But also, Doctor, just one of our viewers here, Abdi.
First of all,
yes.
You see my reasoning?
It's just adding to what you're saying. One of our viewers here, Abdi Ibrahim, and thank you so much for writing to us. And you're saying Uhuru took a unilateral decision without consulting Magufuli. TZ responded as a sovereign country by taking action. Well, Abdi Ibrahim, thank you so much for writing to us. If you have been following this matter, because we have been, there have been several meetings of East African heads of state, and Magufuli has refused to attend any of this through, Zoom or whatever means the technology they used to meet. And Magufuli did not attend the last one and the other one which they had. And so Zambia also made the same decision to close its borders with Tanzania. I did not see President Magufuli reacting to that. President Museveni in Uganda also, when they recorded their first cases, even before they did, they closed the border between Uganda and Kenya. They not really close, but they tried to control the movement, and they refused Kenyans to go to Uganda like that. And we saw the Ugandan police actually acting and forcefully removing Kenyans who were trying to access Uganda at that time. And we don't see a Kenyan government reacting in that manner, because we understand, and President Uhuru Kenyatta understands, that the first responsibility of a head of state is to protect the lives of the people of that country that he's leading. And so President Magufuli has been given time too, and the manner in which he's been handling the spread of COVID-19 in Tanzania. He's not been very open and transparent about the figures there, which we've read several from very credible sources. There are numerous burials happening at night, the number of people in the hospitals, and they're not being recorded. So that is a concern. So acting upon such information, President Uhuru Kenyatta said, you know what, we might now try to control the traffic of the people here, but of course the trucks and all that, we'll find a way to ensure, because we still need that trade going in between our borders. So I don't understand when you're saying that Magufuli responded. Of course, Tanzania is a sovereign country, but we've been forced to do that. But don't you think, Mr. Abdi Ibrahim, that President of Tanzania is overreacting, but now closing down the border of Tanzania on its side and refusing for any cargo, trailers to enter or things like that? Don't you think it's an overreaction from his own failure to mitigate and to deal with COVID-19 in his country, as the rest of the East African community countries are doing?
I don't know. And Ibrahim, I don't know what you mean in Magufuli Fiore. I don't work for Magufuli. I have just told you, I don't know whether you even have a tire of a truck. I have a truck. So I'm suggesting what I've done with mine is what I've stopped. I don't want any headache, mister. I've stopped the truck. Let it be. To avoid all this corona. Leave it. That is what I suggested. The other second one, I don't know. I'm not a spokesman of the government of Magufuli. But Magufuli is a friend. I told PLO Lumumba to talk to him. He must have talked to him about ABCD. He sacked his deputy minister
of health. Because my theory on that is perhaps this doctor was trying to tell him, come on now, Mr. President, you have to get your game together. You have to deal with COVID-19 head on. He fired his assistant health minister. Last week he fired the head of, laboratory, like the head of Cameroon here, was fired over there in Tanzania. So Magufuli is just trying to just put the blame on other people, but he's refusing to take responsibility. And I personally have been having a problem with him on this. I know he's your friend. Yes.
Miriam, east or west, what has come out of this television station today, this afternoon, is simple. Let the companies, and our role here is not to condemn government. Our role is to suggest if President Uhuru Kenyatta, Mr. Macharia, the Minister of Transport, is not thinking, those are the people to remove from cabinet. Remove them. Why are you staying with a man who does not think for the president? Every time he's bringing trouble for president. In that docket, he has been bringing a lot of headache for the Mr. President. He's one of those who has made President Uhuru Kenyatta have a problem with his legacy. He should be thinking, come up on the television and say, this is what we want to do from today. All transporters must have drivers who have been tested with their certificates and will be tested at the point of
entry.
Exit. Mm-hmm. They leave the truck there, they don't go to the other territory. The driver from Uganda, because Uganda is militarized. That's why Uganda has not got any single death. Kenyans, you belittle your own president. You belittle him. You even call Mutahi Kagwe COVID-19. Have you seen Kenyans writing the COVID-19 is going to announce? They are calling Mutahi, there's a name they call Mutahi Kagwe.
Yes, the COVID ministry. But Dr. President Museveni had made the similar suggestion you're making, you remember, a couple of weeks ago.
Let me finish this point and then you can come in.
Yes.
So that they pick the theory properly. Leave the drivers. Kenyan drivers can also go and stay in Uganda after the test. No problem. They are tested. They can stay in the lodge there, wait for each truck. Leaving Mombasa, you get prepared where your shot certificate here. Okay? In Uganda, they can even put them in the barracks so that they cannot manga. One of the things that you can give President Museveni a credit, and for me, I give a credit where it is due. He has messed on some things, politics. But on this one, COVID-19, Mjamaa amefanya kazi hiyo.
All right.
Amefanya kazi. There is nobody who has died of this thing there, except these drivers who are carrying it in their trousers and delivering it there. So, and then some bring it here. So what we don't want now is this exchange. Let the drivers from Mombasa end in Malaba. The drivers from Kampala take over the truck after fumigation, deliver the empty truck. This one takes it back to Mombasa. There, we shall mitigate circumstances against COVID-19. Similarly, Namanga, Loitokito, Lunga, let it happen that way. Those who want money so much during these COVID days, you want to get it, even God is refusing. We used not to wear masks like this. We are now wearing masks.
Yes.
You want money so much, please do it.
All right, but for Tanzania now it's going to be tricky because President Magufuli has closed the borders on the side of Tanzania, so he does not even want the trucks to enter. But Doctor, the suggestion you just made, President Museveni made it a couple of weeks ago, and I remember wondering how will that work, because he said you can bring your trucks and then the Ugandan drivers can pick them from there, and we wondered how can you just hand over the truck to a stranger, and we wondered how that could work. So maybe you bring another driver working for the same company. Okay, then that might work. I'm not sure. Look
here, cost holders have head offices in Mombasa and had head offices in
Uganda,
Kampala,
yes,
and Kigali.
So they could make the arrangements.
Yes, my trucks are not here. They are in Kigali. They are in Rwanda. They play between Rwanda and Mombasa. There is a small office there. Someone coordinating there gets you a driver. And another one in Mombasa gets his driver. So they are your drivers. You employ them because you want to deliver the goods. At the same time, the government, the countries want the goods delivered. And we want Tanzanians to trade in Kenya and the Kenyans to trade in Tanzania. You can employ Tanzanian drivers, orient them, deorient them, tell them, and that's it. Let's move to another subject. I think that one has been got.
Yes, Gilbert Karanja is saying the decision of Magufuli is out of table. He has not come into terms with the disease and overreacting for nothing. All right there, Gilbert Karanja, thank you so much for watching us this afternoon. And that has been my thought exactly. He needs to come to term. But for the interest of time, Doctor, Zimbabwe, fake abductions to frame the government. Now, 3 missing women leaders of Zimbabwe's opposition movement for Democratic Change Alliance were found dumped outside the capital, Harare. And Doctor, this is a story that we talked about, I think, on Friday and also Thursday. We had this in one of the African news stories, and they have been found dumped somewhere outside the capital of Harare.
And I summarize so that we move.
Yes.
And the President Mnangagwa is my great friend. General Chiwenga is my great friend. Lieutenant General or Major General Simbisio Moyo, the foreign minister, is my great friend. All of them, we eat food on the same table when we meet. It's not hearsay. Their country is being framed. Their country is being framed. And mark me, I have told you, George Soros and the regime change are organizing themselves. Don't you see in Kenya here? Don't you see them? Don't you see Nelson Harvey? What is he saying, telling Kenyatta that you are wrong for militarizing Nairobi? But he wanted rubbish to reach his Langata home. He even lives in Langata, I didn't know. The president of the Law Society. Have you seen what William Mutunga is saying? Have you seen what Makau Mutua is saying? Have you seen what David Ndii is saying? The David Ndii of Kenya are the same as the David Ndii of Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe has got one big problem. Vanguard paramilitary group. The Vanguard paramilitary group is punishing the people who don't like Chamisa. They want to blame it on the government. It's a theory of Fanon Fanzi. Go and look for Fanon Fanzi theory that it is only violence and the violence alone. And once violence is used, it creates a situation, blackmail, and so many other things. So how do you do it in rebel activities? I'm now telling you from an experienced point of view. You go and abduct your own person, beat him up because you don't like him in the party, and throw to the government to explain. That's what Museveni did to us in the Rwanda trial. You have forgotten in 1981. He wrote a book, and that's what he said. In this book, The Sowing of the Mustard Seed, they used to discipline some of their people, and they blame it on the government. And we lost credibility. The government of Milton Obote lost credibility. The international community, William Pike and others, wrote a paper that Obote is killing people. But nobody went down to discuss who was killing. It was the MDC killing people. It was MDC also beating people. MDC was beating its own people. Mugabe used to tell you, it was later on discovered that the factions that are fighting in power in Zimbabwe at the moment of Chamisa and Hupe, these factions are fighting. You remember in Zimbabwe at the moment they are saying some MPs should not go to parliament. These girls were going to go to parliament. They have defied Chamisa.
Because MDC right now is divided into two, and Chamisa is not the head, according to that court ruling that happened.
So if you look at that, if President Mnangagwa is not careful, he's going to be framed for abduction. But the people who are abducting these people are coming from the factions of MDC. One of the factions that has got Vanguard African youth who have been trained in Mozambique. Me, I don't hesitate telling the truth, Jamen. There has been training in Mozambique for Zimbabwean youth who want to topple Emerson Mnangagwa. If his intelligence is not telling him, I am now telling him publicly. So these youths have come into Zimbabwe. They want to create havoc during this COVID-19 so that America gets annoyed, gives them money. They come to the streets. They have already finished Malawi. Malawi across is gone, man. George Soros is in control. Chikwera, is it Chikwera, the deputy, the vice president there is called Chikwera?
Chakwera. Is it Chakwera?
Chakwera.
Yes.
Yes, she's going to take over. It's George Soros' product. It's Emerson does not listen to my lips. Brother, we shall meet somewhere when we don't have power. These guys are working day and the night. Vanguard Africa. You know who is the owner? The owner of Vanguard Africa is a mercenary. You know his name? His name is Jeffrey Smith. Bring the picture here. Bring the picture of Jeffrey Smith.
And as they do that,
pays money to younger men. He wanted to bring it in Kenya here. We got him in the morning and put him out during election. You remember 2017? Now we have done handshake, we can talk about it.
The European Union had issued a statement urging authorities to act in line with the Constitution and legal obligations to establish the whereabouts and well-being of these ladies who had been abducted. And in a tweet on Thursday, the Canadian Embassy in Zimbabwe also called on authorities to investigate and to assist their lawyers and families to locate them. So we see there it also attracted a lot of furore, both domestically and also internationally, in international cycles. It's interesting. Anything that happens there in Zimbabwe or particular, countries in Africa usually attract a lot of international attention, maybe because of the positioning of this country, of the interest, that they arose across international fields.
Miriam, my sister.
I'm just trying to be diplomatic here.
It's not the positioning of the country. These guys, imagine if Zimbabwe was without the whites that are in Zimbabwe, would there be anybody complaining?
And the whites are minority.
It doesn't matter.
Yes.
Israel, whether it is a baby who has died and he has the name Israel, they look for you and get you who kill you.
And speaking of which, the Chinese ambassador to Israel has died.
Israel
was found died in Tel Aviv.
Yes.
Was found dead in Tel Aviv there.
And if you have read my Facebook today, you will find that miracles happen in Haifa, Capernaum, and some medicine has erupted in Capernaum.
Where is that? You mean you
don't know. Read my Facebook. Let's not finish.
Okay.
Let's finish quick.
All right.
And then we go.
So we finish.
Go to my Facebook.
Yes, I'll go look for it. And so we look at our last country because time is not really on our side. We have to beat the curfew, some of us. So the last country is Cameroon. Is two-state solution the answer? And we saw there the president of the Swiss Confederation, Simonetta Sommaruga, revealed that she has held discussions with the head of state over the crisis in the northwest and southwest regions, as well as other issues plaguing Cameroon. In a tweet on Thursday evening, the president of the Swiss Confederation said they discussed on possible solutions to the crisis in the Anglophone region, as well as the humanitarian and health crisis in the country as a whole. Now, Switzerland has been active in seeking a solution to the crisis in the Anglophone region through several mediation attempts between the government and armed and of course the other side have failed to take place. So we've seen a lot of countries trying to intervene in this crisis between the government of Paul Biya and the Anglophone region there, the Ambazonia region there, who are saying as we do not want anything less than just seceding and creating our own country there. And we've seen a lot of international efforts are failing. Is it because, number one, perhaps the international efforts have not been very perhaps having a different interest there, and perhaps their interest has not been very genuine in terms of really finding a solution in this Anglophone crisis? And can an international, body or country come in and find a solution in Cameroon, or a solution through the crisis that right now is in Cameroon between President Paul Biya's side and the Anglophone side? Can only be found from those two warring parties themselves, and not from outside, and in bound solution from Cameroon itself.
In summary, we don't have much. Cameroon needs a two-state. That's it. Don't go to me. Don't tell me that guy there, that 89-year-old lumpen dictator, murderer, genocidal, called Paul Biya can accept anything you are talking now. Just leave it. Cameroon, Miriam, needs a two-state solution. Give the Ambazonians their state. Full stop. You can go to the moon, Mars, Venus, calm down. I don't know why they have not given these guys what they want. These guys want that state. 1961 resolution 1608 is very clear on the two-state solution. If we don't give them, we shall kill these guys. They will continue to kill. People are dying. People are suffering. Miriam, that's the life we have in Cameroon. And lastly, Nigeria. In 2 minutes, we shall do Nigeria this week. Biafra. The state of COVID-19 is not very good there. The state of COVID-19 is not very good in Cameroon, in Nigeria. So we need a full day to do the rest of COVID-19 on Cameroon. Thank you very much, Miriam.
Yes.
I just want to tell my viewers that tomorrow we shall have a show on diplomatic leaks at 11 o'clock sharp. Or we can start it at 9 o'clock. No, 9 we shall have Kenya. 11 diplomatic leaks. Kabuga. It touches our national security. It's a national security matter. For France to have lied to us that they don't know where this man is. And then finally release him when they see they bargain. You know, they just bargained.
Were they using him as a bargaining chip?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Don't tell me that France did not know where Kabuga was. To get an ID to get an ID, and you are being put a criminal, international criminal on Interpol. Your data and your fingerprints have been taken. Your saliva has been taken to get any second ID in France, in Paris.
Or any other country part of the Interpol who work with the Interpol is difficult. There's a probability he got it from, because there are some information. He's been traveled. He traveled a few. Even in Kenya, there's been some rumors he was here before he finally crossed over.
No. This. I've done it practically for people to know.
Yes.
This saliva.
Yes.
Is the DNA. In Britain, when they arrest you, they have already known who you are. You don't need to say, oh, niko muizi ya nyama, or ya kuku, or I have stolen chicken, or this. They already know. Because your saliva is inside. The DNA is inside your police. In a police station. If you have committed anything, any crime in Britain, either motor driving or anything to do with a bicycle, you stole somebody's bicycle, like you steal in Africa, and you have taken bad manners there. They take the DNA. The first thing in the police station, your saliva. Ndio iko kwa mama, iko wapi? Kwa logo book inaangalia namna hivi. Kama wanakusema, if they stop you, we are going, because we have 2 minutes left. One, if you are caught in a car, the policeman tells you, step out. By the time you step out, the policeman tells you, are you Dr. David Matanga? You live on this address. You say, how did you know? They already know you. So, let's not finish the story of
Kabuga.
France.
We'll talk about it tomorrow.
Where this man was. They have been knowing, they have been keeping him. They tried to arrest Rwandese who were looking. You remember the director of intelligence of Rwanda went to Paris and lied down to he wanted to get him. You know, the Rwandese have a style of eliminating their opponents. They can come at night as a houseboy, then they kill you. They are very good. Those are smart boys. Because they have suffered. I give them a credit. They have suffered. The director of intelligence of Rwanda was detained. That lady, there is a lady there who was a PA, personal assistant to Kagame, was arrested. She stayed in near there. Near where Kabuga was. I told you I knew this thing long time ago. And it's Mama, let's not finish the flavor. Tomorrow, I want to wish my people the best. All of you, including your smiling situation.
All right. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you. God bless you.
All right. And thank you so much,
I
our
want
viewers.
you
Yes.
to take your opportunity to pick the first flight, which will take you, drop you home, so that you don't, you are not caught by.
Yes. So thank you, our viewers. We'll see you tomorrow here at 9 a.m. for Daytime Express as for more news across Kenya and indeed across Africa. But for now, thank you so much for joining us. My name is Miriam Mugutu and
What?
Doctor. I was waiting to say your name, but then we say goodbye.
Thank you very much. And what we talk here is we educate, so we don't get annoyed with us. I hope the Deputy President picks some of our advice, shapes up, picks a phone and calls his boss and say, I'm sorry. We want to build a united Kenya. That's the end of my show. This station is for Africa, by Africa, with Africa